Welcome to Geek the F Out. Welcome. We are back, baby. Johnny, are you going to say anything?
Hi, I was grooving. I got pumped with that opening and then the Defiant Jazz. Yeah.
Great opening. Thank you, Mark and Shiny Plastic Chris.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The little.
I could never.
That's teamwork.
Mm-hmm. Teamwork makes the dream work. Welcome. Hi, Allison. We're back. We are here to talk about Severance Season 2. And as we can see, Mark, you can stop highlighting.
Oh, sorry.
Stuff. You can. Thank you.
I already get that one. There you go.
We are joined by Mark. Sadly, Alice could not join us this evening. There was a bit of a overtime, contingency there for them. But yeah, we are here to talk about Severance Season 2. Very excited. Yeah, so it's been a minute. We've had a bit of a hiatus with Geek the F Out, but we couldn't not talk about Severance since we both love the show so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Johnny, you say something.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of those weird things. Like, I found it by accident, and I sent you a message. I remember. I'm like, "Have you watched Severance?" And you're like, "Duh." It's one of those things where it was completely off my radar, and I'd never heard of it. Well, no, I had heard of it. It's one of those things like when things come out and people start talking about them at the same time, they get like I always associate the bands Seven Mary 3 and Our Lady Peace with each other because they both like hit mainstream about the same time, and they have had kind of similar things going on with their debut albums. So in my mind, those two are linked. There was a word, inextricably, I don't know, inexplicably linked, even though they really don't have anything in common.
Okay.
For me, it's like that with Severance, and even though I've never watched it, Succession. When I saw people talking about how good Severance was, I thought they were talking about Succession, which I also hear is really super good, but I have not watched it yet.
I have
not as good as Severance, but
fun trivia for you really quick.
Sure.
Radar the dog, Irving's dog, is also in Succession too.
Yep.
So I didn't realize for a while until I started watching it that Severance was a sci-fi
a different show.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. And I binged through the first season and I was like, "Have you watched Severance?" And Kayla's like, "Duh." So yeah.
Obviously. I mean, come on. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna mostly talk about season 2 today. Yeah, so before we get into things, Johnny just kind of talked about his like backstory with Severance. What about you, Mark?
I feel like you know my backstory.
I do, but the people don't.
Yeah. Well, my backstory goes all the way back to the yesteryears of January 2025, when I started watching this show, suggested to me by one of the 3 people that is on the screen right now, and it was not me, and it was not Johnny. So there you go.
It's me.
And did we only watch the first episode? I think like when you suggested it, did we only watch the first one? I don't remember. I know that like
we watched all of them.
Well, I mean, never mind. Anyways, but like, finished it before season 2 started, and so I was like one of those lucky people that didn't have to wait
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah, you're
Thank God,
lucky.
because I watched it like October, November of last year, maybe
Oh,
before,
you're
maybe
lucky
before getting
too.
lost, but I don't think so. Yeah,
Mm,
I did not have the 3 year wait, and they promised that it's not going to be that long before season 3.
let's fucking hope. Yeah, I watched it, I think in like 2023. I don't think I watched it last year. So I didn't watch it when it aired, but I heard a lot of good things about it. And I was like, I don't know about this show. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem to interest me. And then, I don't know. Of course, I finally watched it and I was like, holy shit, this is great. um, yeah, hi Quip. So yeah, look, we can say hi to the chat real quick. Starting with Johnny
What?
doing your own. Mark, can you highlight the?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Where is it? There it is. Oh,
Yeah, I have no controls over here, so I'm just
Yeah,
chilling.
we
sorry,
don't have any controls.
that's why
Johnny,
I'm optics and
ourselves,
design today.
me, Richmond Way,
Yeah.
Chris, Allison. What's happening? Punk, who I was on his show last night, and Quip just stopped by to say hi real quick. I think he said he still had to watch it.
Yeah. Brick said that too. Brick had stopped
Yeah.
by like the day we posted the stream and said,
Yeah,
you know, he was glad to
he's
see
on
us
top of it.
post, but he hasn't watched it yet, so he wouldn't be.
Yeah. I think he said he was still stuck on season 1. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
Get
he
through it,
said
bro.
he's hardly even through season 1.
Anywho, so we're gonna mostly talk about the finale that was last night, Cold Harbor, but we're gonna quickly go through the other episodes of season 2, and I'll do a little breakdown of them and if we want to give our thoughts, but we're mostly going to talk about the finale and then, you know, the show as a whole.
You want
So
to sever first so that our innies can do that instead of us?
yes, let's do it. Oh, hi.
Oh,
Hi, guys.
Illuminate.
Did we already start? Oh,
I guess so. I guess we need
Is this
to
a waffle
the
party?
show.
oh,
Oh my god.
just as the color blue started behind you too, so it looks like it's a. Never mind. Anyways,
Do you guys have waffles?
I should have got some. Anyways, all right. Season 2,
Coveted
episode.
as fuck.
Yeah, they are. And same with the egg, the deviled eggs.
The Illuminate is pretty good too.
we love puns.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
It's Luminade. It's not Kool-Aid. What's Kool-Aid?
I don't know. All right. Episode 1. Hello, Miss Cobell. This is directed by Ben Stiller, and we have Marc back at work with a new team, but he finally gets the OG team back together where it's been 5 months, quote unquote, with new reforms, new perks, no cams or mics, etc. And when the OG team finally comes back, they share what happened on the outside, and Irv is already sus of Helly. Irv wants to leave, but Dylan convinces him to stay, and Milkshake shows Dylan the visitation center plans to entice him to stay.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the episode?
I liked how
Johnny's eating.
that whole episode was all in any episode.
Mm-hmm.
Just entirely from the perspective of the innies in that one. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we'll get to it in a second, but we'll end up seeing how that they met, like they timed exactly the entrance of each of the characters coming out of the elevator to be exactly to what we'll see in that second episode. So like someone edited that together so it like syncs up perfectly.
Yep.
So as they,
I was going to mention that for the second episode.
oh, okay, sorry.
Too late. It's okay.
Spoilers.
All good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good way to pick up the season there, and then just we had the in the intro there, but I liked that whole opening with Marc getting out of the elevator and just sprinting,
taking off.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Tom Cruise basically. The arm blades.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead, Johnny.
I haven't watched it since it aired. I should have done a rewatch before the finale, but I didn't. I knew the 5 months passing thing had to be bullshit from the beginning. Like it hadn't even been. It was like what, the weekend? Something like that.
Pretty much. But how they came up with that like animation that quickly is crazy.
Yeah.
Adam Scott knows that you can't do stop
And-
motion that quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, but like the renovations to like the break room, the wellness center is gone. Their like supply closet's gone.
Well, they had that team working in there like overnight. I think it was. We saw the people
For
breaking
when they
things
changed the
down.
doors. Yeah.
Yeah. So they probably that area probably still was there, but it's just like it's like a hollow kind of cover over where the larger room was.
Mm-hmm.
So many hidden rooms down there.
Yeah. I was kind of sad that they like introduced us to these new characters and like we never saw them again. Like I was really hoping they would come back. Yeah, I was really hoping they would come back at some point, but
And
wow.
W broke a lease in Utica.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's rough. That's rough, buddy.
RUFF rough. Yeah. Any other thoughts before we move on to episode 2?
Just the amount of running that Adam Scott had to do.
Yeah, they had to get a lot of Gatorade for him.
Yeah.
That had to be a drone, right? They had to have shot that with a drone, like following
They did
him.
it in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, they have like this crane arm. Like
I didn't watch any of the. This is something about that I told. I think I told Kayla. I don't know if I told Marc. I might have. I didn't watch any of the like behind the scenes stuff after the credits. I didn't watch any of like. I wanted to formulate all my own crazy out there wild fucking theories. So I didn't watch.
But they don't talk about the theories after. Because they can't.
I did watch the one after this episode, but like I know sometimes like with the Game of Thrones one, they expound on stuff that happened in the episode, and I don't want that. I wanted to see what was on the screen in the episode given to me, and then I didn't watch any.
I wanted all the theories.
No,
all
I
the
wanted
breakdowns.
I wanted to like be unmolested in my theory crafting.
Maybe don't use that word.
Also, if you follow,
a perfectly fine word.
If you follow Ben Stiller on Blue Sky, he posts like all these behind the scenes photos from like when they were filming and stuff. So there's like this cool picture he took of Adam Scott running down one of the hallways with like the crane jeep like they have going on with that. But yeah. Also, we didn't mention it, but Keanu Reeves did the voice of the Lumon building in that stop motion animation.
Yep. I mean, I'm just quickly going over things, so I'm not going to be able to mention everything.
Which I guess Ben Stiller asked Obama to do the voiceover for that, and he turned it down.
And he didn't. He wasn't. I think he had. It said he had a scheduling conflict, or he would have done it.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been epic. All right, episode 2. Goodbye, Mrs. Celtic. Directed by Samuel Donovan. We get the new intro for season 2. What did we think about the new intro? I thought it was very cool.
Fucking weird. It's creepy.
Yeah. I mean, the first season one was weird and creepy, but I feel like this just like took it to a whole new level.
The two things that really got me, the weird ass baby Kier
Yeah.
crawling at the end, and then Mark coming out of the back of his own head to
I think that's Helly,
like,
actually.
The I thought it was him to symbolize the reintegration.
I thought it was Helly. I thought someone.
There's a bunch of like Helly and like Gemma, Miss Casey, like phasing in and out, becoming one or the other.
Yeah. Like in the like pond, and then in the elevator, the testing floor elevator. Yeah. Any thoughts, Mark? Marc V?
The one thing I'll say there too is that if you make stuff, post it, because Ben Stiller found that the person that made their show intro on Instagram, and he liked the like random like visuals and stuff he was making there, so that's how that person got hired, was because of that.
Yep. So yeah, this episode is the Audi experience, like kind of parallel to episode 1. And the team, like up until the team is back together again, and Milkshake tries to find out from each of the refiners what happened during the OTC and fires Dylan and Irving, only to ask them back later. We get an inside look into Helena's life with her interactions with James, Drummond, Cobell, and she offers Cobell a promotion, but she refuses since she only wants to manage the severed floor. And we have Mark, Devin, and Rickon try to find out who Mark meant by she's alive. And yeah, we already talked about this, but it's like the exact timing of coming out of the elevator from episode 1. What do we think of this episode?
I liked how it was all Audi for this one. I just like how they did that for the first episodes, basically. And like, those are cool to kind of watch together afterwards too. I wonder what it would be. I'm sure maybe someone has already done this, but like I wonder if someone edited both the episodes entirely together to get all of like, you know,
I've seen that
when it goes back and forth. Like I know like just that scene has been, but I mean like the entire events of episode 1 and episode 2 merged them together.
I don't know if the rest of the episodes are the same, or the rest of the episode. I don't know. Johnny?
I was distracted by the Lumon logo.
I knew it. I knew you were.
Wait for it to hit the corner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Almost did.
Yeah, her. I think we got to see a lot about Helena in this episode, and particularly like her bullshit explanation for being drunk and intoxicated, and
not on Lumon drugs for her rash on her arm. Okay,
a non-Lumon drug. They had to specify it wasn't Lumon's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Can never be their fault.
It's weird stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, I liked episode 2. I feel like I don't really have much else to say. All right, episode 3, Who is Alive? This one is directed by Ben Stiller. Helly and Mark go to find the goats, which leads them to Mammalian's Nurturable, which is where I work. And Gwendolyn Christie's character, Lorne, they find her with her cult. Irv shows Dylan the painting and then goes to O&D and reminisces with Felicia about Bert, and they talk about the exports hall, aka the testing floor. Dylan meets with his Audi's wife Gretchen in the visitation center. Natalie gives Seth the black-faced Kier paintings, which he hides away. Mark and Devin make a plan to burn Who is Alive into his eyes and he runs into Ragabi while testing it out in his car, and she begins reintegrating him. Kabelvig returns to Lumon and demands her job back, and Milkshake leaves but decides to leave. What? Wait, that doesn't make sense. I think I used the wrong person.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you meant Cobell. Decides.
She decides to leave. Oh, yeah, but she decides to leave again when Helena invites her inside to talk to the board. I don't know what happened there. So, yeah. I was really shocked that, like, he was reintegrating that quickly.
Yeah, I was surprised that it started that early in the season, but that was cool.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, because I mean, I guess it is a process.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now that we've seen like the whole season, because I was like, oh, all right, so that'll be interesting for the rest of the season, and then it kind of felt like
it kind of didn't go anywhere, but is going there slowly, like, and like, I don't know, we'll see if it continues or if it's a process that now is just ended. It'll
be interesting to see where it goes, because I thought it was just going to be like they have one session and he's like reintegrated. No, it's like many sessions, you know.
The ending of that episode was really awesome, though, especially with how they shoot anytime they do stuff like that, where like they must have had to shoot that with like Adam Scott, like in 4 or 5 different instances, with like the set in different places and him wearing different things in the different sets.
Yeah, with
like
the
how
flashes.
They shoot that stuff,
especially when they have to go back and like redo like memories from season 1.
Oh yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. All right, episode 4, Woe's Hollow. This is also directed by Ben Stiller. This is the Ortbo episode where they find out Kier had a twin brother, Dieter. And they find this out in Scissor Cave and then go to, Woe's Hollow through the guidance of their doppelgangers. And Helena and Marc fuck. And Irving reveals it's actually Helena and not Helly. And that's the episode. I feel like this episode brought up a lot of fucking theories with how this Ortbo wasn't actually like outside, and how it was like somewhere inside Lumon, and it was like virtual reality essentially, in a sense.
Like a Truman Show-esque thing.
I mean, there's a lot of weird shit going on, but sometimes
it's just weird.
The world's tallest waterfall is the world's tallest waterfall.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Also, I think there's a thing someone or said was that Dieter Egan is an anagram for AI generated.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm not fully convinced that Dieter actually exists or ever existed. Like, there's
his story is a little crazy.
Yeah, like I did, and I was surprised because people at this point were still really trying to figure out if it was Helly or Helena. Like,
what did you think, Johnny? Did you think it was?
I was leaning towards it being Helly, especially when she just started fucking cracking up at the Dieter story. Or not the Dieter story, whatever the story was that Milchek was telling them at the campfire before he took the s'mores away.
I think it was more about Dieter.
Because I didn't think that Helena would burst out laughing like that at something that felt very Helly. But then obviously we find out at the end that it is Helena masquerading as Helly.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm not fully convinced that Dieter exists. There's a lot of bullshit cult mythology around Kier, and the
Mhm.
Egans and Lumen as a whole.
Mhm.
So like, it could totally just be a a made up fable.
Mhm. Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't heard that before. I could totally see that happening with, yeah, just how culty they are. Um, please ignore the cat. Um,
I mean, you are mammalians nurturable.
I am. I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew it was Helena for sure. Like, as soon as she came out of the elevator and just like hugged Mark and wasn't like, what the fuck is going on? Which is when she does come out of the elevator later, that's exactly what happens. So I was like, yeah, it's not her.
See, I feel
So
dumb because I watched those first 4 episodes, and like when she was like acting that certain way, like after watching that animated thing, and she didn't like say the actual story about what she saw because she didn't know what she saw, and she had the whole night gardener story. Like, I was like, why'd she lie about that? Why didn't she just tell about it? Is she just like is she just trying to hide that she found out that she's Helena Egan?
I mean, that was the thing most people explained it
Yeah.
away as, and I kind of did for a second. I was like, I mean, I get it, but also I feel like Helly would have been like, let's take advantage of this, you know? Like she would have been ashamed, but she would have been like, let's do something with that information, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, and I was going to say about her laughing at the story. I felt like it could have gone either she was laughing to try to pretend to be Helly, or she just actually thinks it's stupid.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
There was another thing where somebody said they noticed like she had a hard time like finding how to turn on her computer, which
Mhm.
I didn't notice. And I even
Mhm.
went back and looked at the scene and I didn't feel like it was that suspicious. But
It was very minor, but yeah. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
I guess us Marks are just very trusting.
Yes. Y'all are.
C's or K's, I guess.
All right, shall we move on to the next episode?
yeah, but this was a hell of an episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it was actually outside. Like there's probably like
Okay.
because like if you look at the license plates, like it's PE, which is
Mhm.
people are theorizing is like Principality
Province.
of Egan
Mhm.
or something like that.
Mhm.
There's probably Woes Hollow State Park or Natural Reserve. Like if it's even a place that Kier actually visited
Mhm.
and not some made up mythology. I
Mhm.
think it's an actual place that they physically were. I don't think they were in
Yeah.
some kind of virtual
I
reality.
mean, it's just hard because especially with
With the TV.
like the TV. Like that's weird. There was like how is it playing?
Batteries? I don't know.
You
Both
can
the batteries.
you can hook it up to a car battery or something like.
But there was no car
They
battery.
have chips in these people's heads that give them a second identity. And we're stuck on the TV in the middle of nowhere playing.
There's also like no
Oh, like
like
they're like doubles too.
yeah,
Yeah,
the fucking doppelgangers,
which
which is
was
wild.
interesting because I know a lot of people were like theorizing about what those are.
Mhm.
And then and they looked weird, like the faces
Mhm.
looked blurry, but
Mhm.
Kobo in the last episode mentions a skin mask, so I don't know if that has anything to do with
Oh, like Agents of
the
Shield, like or a Winter Soldier. You know, like
yeah,
how like Black Widow had the.
Mhm.
but not as high resolution.
Oh yeah, so it's like a 480p one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
SD.
Oh, also,
Standard definition skin mask.
Irving's like whole like thing in that episode too, like while you had that going on with Mark and Helly too, and like
his dream.
his like dream sequence, like
Mm-hmm.
this, because this is also like the first time most, if not all of them, have been outside
Yeah,
too.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the first time any of them have been outside. The first time any of them got to actually like
Well,
sleep.
besides the OTC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
but
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Well,
interesting.
Dylan, because Dylan was
Yeah.
just in the office,
Exactly.
but the others
Dylan
were
was the only
outside.
one.
And
That's why
Well,
he
it's
was
the
like,
first side.
"Holy fuck, that's what the sky looks like."
Yeah. But it's
He's
the
only
first
been
time
in the
any of them
closet
like
with
got to
Sonic.
sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except I guess Irv got in trouble for falling asleep at his desk in the first season.
Well, you know.
But that's when he was like falling asleep and they had like the goo,
The
like the
black
black goo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably, I wonder if it has something to do with like maybe when they're asleep, it's easier for like the severance
meshing.
barrier to be broken and things to intermingle.
Yeah. I mean, it seems that way since Irv was drawing the
Mhm.
door and he was like, "Oh, it came from my dreams."
Mhm.
And then this was technically the last time we saw Irving B too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Rest in peace, Irving B.
maybe
Great.
Irving B will come back at some point. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll definitely get into that with him coming back for next season. But let's get to the next episode.
Move on.
Episode 5. Trojan's Horse. This is directed by Samuel Donovan. This is the funeral / melon party for Irv, where Dylan finds Irv's directions to the testing floor hidden behind the hang in there picture of him. Mark's being a dick to Helly, and he starts to see flashes from both sides. And Milkshake has his performance review, and it does not go well. Yeah. How creepy was the melon head?
It's fucking
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I want a melon
But
head
weird.
I
someday.
was like, I don't want
And the
to
fact
eat.
that like they're eating him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to eat the head of someone that just died.
That is
Which I
an
thought was-
interesting theory, shiny
which
black people.
Do you want me
It
to?
is.
You want me to put up?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have no control.
Oh, that's
I
why
actually
asked.
thought Irv the Audi was sleep depriving himself to aid the bleed through.
That is an interesting theory. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. I'm curious what made you like, were there any clues or is that just what you think he was doing? Like, I feel like I missed something.
I don't know. It seemed like he
Maybe with
spent
his
all time
painting?
painting.
Yeah.
The massive amount of paintings that we saw he had back in season 1.
Yeah,
He was
that's
also
true.
when like during the OTC, like when Irving B was looking at like through his Audi's stuff, it looked like Irving was looking into Lumon stuff himself. So it's
Yeah.
and then it seems like there's this whole other outing Irving thing going on. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting as far as
Yeah, with the falling assup at work. Yeah.
I mean,
but
I've
I've
fallen asleep at work on a full night's sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens.
Jinx. Anything else about this episode?
Oh, the other thing I thought was interesting, was at least with the melon head too, is like when the cut in it was like right. It was like similar, or it was like in his ear, so it was almost like it's so like when Dylan was eating that, it was like I don't know, I felt very like a subtle bit like of him listening to Irving by eating his ear, and also Vincent Van Gogh. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh God.
Had the sweet mugs though.
Yeah.
Which I like that everybody had a mug in that supply room, even Helly.
I thought they were getting them just to give to each of them. I didn't realize it was like for whoever was, retiring. Yeah, quote unquote. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, moving on to episode 6, Attila. This is directed by Uda Briezowitz. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Dylan tells Marc and Helly about Irv's note he left. Marc tells Helly that they shared vessels and they brown cow. Dylan has another visitation with Gretchen and they kiss. Now kiss. Milkshake works on his feedback and he grows. Irv has dinner with Bert and Denethor, and it gets Cockward, aka John Noble. Marc accidentally runs into Helena, which I don't think it was an accident. I think she stalked him there for sure.
100%.
Yeah, at a Chinese restaurant, and somehow there is both awkward tension and flirting? ? And then Ragabi decides to speed up the reintegration process by flushing Marc's chip with something, and he ends up having a seizure shortly after Devin shows up. Yeah. Go ahead.
That whole thing with Marc and Helena, the Zufu Chinese place was interesting too, because it kind of shows and then this stuff with Irving and Bert too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shows how some of that stuff bleeds through that kind of chemistry, or whatever whatever maybe transcends between the
yeah,
because fundamentally the innie is still the same person, just without traumatic experiences
and memories in general.
I think that Helena is in a way jealous of Helly, because Helly has someone that she cares for and cares for her back, and it's odd with Helena because she seems like she had a pretty shitty childhood with this is from the last episode, but when she's like, God, you're fucking weird. When James shows up, it was fucking great,
so funny.
But
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think she's jealous of Helly in a way, because Helly has something that Helena does not have or has not experienced. I also wanted everybody talks about Miss Huang being a child. I don't think she's she looks really young, but the actress is 18, and I think that's probably what the age that Miss Huang is supposed to be, because of the fellowship and whatever.
Yeah.
That reminds me though, when the Mark W is like, "Why are you a child?" He's like, because of when I was born.
When I was born, yeah.
Literal.
Which I don't know if it was it this episode or a next one? Have we seen the last of Natalie? She was the last time we see her, she talks to Milchek, asks her about the paintings before his performance review. So he asks her how she felt. She doesn't answer him, and then we don't see her again at all this season.
I think she's still around.
Yeah.
Which she is great. That actress is fantastic at just saying 1,000 words with just a look. Super creepy, or the way she was looking at Milchek, she was like, I can't fucking believe you asked me that. Are you fucking insane? No, I'm not. Do you want to?
Do you want to know the backstory of her that they told on the podcast? So I guess she was in, I forget what toothpaste, Crest or something commercial, and she had this big smile, and they literally told her, they're like, do that smile, because they're like, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Yeah, she's awesome. I was gonna say something before. Oh, with how, feelings about people bleed through. I think that's definitely true, because in season 1, Miss Casey, literally tells Mark like, oh, I'm gonna be sad, like the time spent here was like my favorite time of
Yeah.
this many hours I spent here. So I'm like, I don't think that's a coincidence. Which, granted, if that's her time versus the traumatizing times that she's having on the testing floor,
Yeah.
like you can't compare, because obviously that is gonna be way better. But yeah. Also, I was gonna say, it's also like it just seems very manipulative for Helena to meet Mark there right after they fucked, which, like, I don't know if
Oh,
maybe,
absolutely.
like, I'm guessing she knows they fucked, because, like, also, like, you kind of know physiologically. So just
Wait,
saying.
you lost me. What are you talking about?
Like, you can tell as someone who, at least I'm guessing what parts she has.
Yeah.
like she would know that that had happened earlier
Who
that
would know?
day. Helena.
Yeah,
That
but
they had fucked.
Yeah, she well, I'm confused. Like, it was Helena the
She
whole
knew
time.
She's talking about
when
Oh,
in the
the
purple room
Helly,
in the
second
severed
time.
floor.
the
Yeah.
second time.
Maybe that's why she went. I was thinking of the first time.
I
Maybe
mean, they
that's
might
why
have
she
known
tracked them
from
down.
the cameras too.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, where they are, but also, like, I think she would also feel it.
Yeah, she probably knew, and maybe that's why she went to find him.
Yeah. She was like, I need more of that good.
She's like, there's only one way this could happen.
She's like, I need to fuck you in every version of you and me. And this hasn't happened. Like, it's been Audi, Helly, any Mark, any
Both
Helly, any
innies.
Mark.
Now
And
we
she's
need
like,
both
what about
Audis.
Audi,
She needs to complete
Helly,
the set.
Audi, Mark? Yeah, exactly.
Although there is, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the first time was very not consensual and not
Yeah.
okay from Helena
No.
because she posed. It's like having a twin who poses as their twin. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
we
it's
had like a
definitely not
whole
okay.
Discord conversation about this. Like,
Yeah, like
Mhm.
Helena
like
is a bad person. Like,
Yeah, she is.
full stop.
it's like a hexagon of consent that you need.
Like,
yeah.
it was not, there was not informed consent there, so that
No.
sucks for. And like, I wish they would have explored that a little more with Mark, and I was glad in a sense that
Excuse me.
they didn't dwell on it and have it cause a rift between Helly and Mark. Like,
Yeah, I could have seen it going the fringe direction, but I'm glad they didn't.
yeah, I mean, that's, I can understand that being the reaction, but it's like, it's a cliche storytelling trope to go that route. So I thought it was kind of cool for them to turn it on its head and go a different way, with Helly being jealous and being like, I want that experience too.
Yeah.
Like,
which, as soon as she said that, I was like, yes, bitch, let's go.
because getting theoretical, everybody is going to have a different opinion about that. Like, Mark might not be bothered by it. Like, even though he found out that it was Helena and not Helly, like we said, it was not okay because there was not informed consent. But Mark might not care because it is the same body, if not the same person.
Body,
like,
yaddy,
it's really fucking mind bending because
it is.
It is the same person, but it's
like,
not.
I couldn't imagine if this was our future. Like, we already as a society unfortunately struggle with consent. Like, I couldn't imagine what the new, like, laws and boundaries would be if that became a reality.
I
Yeah.
wonder how it works. We should look to see if there's any interviews about,
That would be a good
like,
Black
people
Mirror
with
episode.
Yeah, or if there's any interviews about people with like multiple personalities
Oh,
and how
like
Mm.
yeah,
dissociative identity disorder.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
DID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That
Could
could
ask
be
another
interesting to
Yeah.
read up
Mark
on.
Spector.
Yeah. But yeah, there
Although
you could theorize and like
Yeah, pick apart.
philosophical discussion about it is
Yeah.
for
the
We need to move
ever.
on.
Yeah.
really quick, because I don't
Go
know
ahead.
if we had talked about it yet, was the with Audi Dillon's wife with any Dillon, like that whole thing up until this point is kind of like an interesting layered thing
Mm-hmm.
to see, because like
With cheating when
on
it's literally the same
yourself,
person.
just
And
yeah, like
we do see later that Audi Dillon is like, "You cheating on me with my innie?" Like he considers it uh,
Yeah. Like cheating,
a
cheating.
breaking trust and infidelity like if all
Mm-hmm.
these people were just polyamorous, there probably wouldn't be anything to worry about. But
Exactly.
as
As we always
as
talk about.
yeah, as that becomes more common and more people talk about being poly, it's still not
Mm-hmm.
something that you really see represented in media and probably
No,
won't
and it's
for a
usually
while. Yeah.
negatively represented. All right, episode 7,
What
which
I
I
digress.
think is the best episode of this season, the best episode of the show, one of the best episodes of television, period, honestly, is Chikai Bardo and is directed by Jessica Lee Gagne, which this is her first time directing something, which is abso-fucking-lutely amazing. And
That's
she's been
a
the
heavy episode to give to a first time director.
yeah, so she's the cinematographer for the show, or she does most of the episode's cinematography,
Okay.
which makes sense because this episode's cinematography is just like
yeah,
mind blowing.
yeah, yeah,
Like the contrast of having like the old school like film camera versus like new cameras shots. It was just so good. So basically, like we have Mark and Gemma's backstory and what Gemma has also been going through on the testing floor, interspersed with present day Devin, Mark, and Ragabi as Mark's coming out of his kind of coma like state, essentially. But yeah, so we finally get the history of Mark and Gemma, which I think they did such a beautiful job summarizing with just the like few scenes and just like what they interspersed it with just like random like photos and like memories and stuff. And I think they did such a good job of showing and not telling us. And it was just like so heartbreaking with her miscarriage, and then when he finds out at the end that she died in the accident, and like there's literally no words in that scene, like you just see the like cops come to the door, and like that's all you need to see to like understand what happened. And it's just like so heartbreaking. um and then to also see what she goes through on the testing floor, because
yeah.
like dear god, she just goes through trauma after trauma after trauma. And then we find out that those are like each of those rooms is one of the files that Mark has done. And Jesus, poor thing, like to have one of your any's personalities or any whatever like only go to the dentist. That's fucking horrible. Someone who hates the dentist, I
One of them was a
would
plane
die.
crash, or like a
Yeah, one of
plane.
them was turbulence. Yeah.
Yeah.
One was writing thank yous for Christmas or just thank yous in general.
Oh yeah, and then
Which
the
I
doctor.
was.
Oh god.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Because
I
I'm
was just gonna
going.
say that the doctor there, Dr. Maurer, is the dude that was the voice of the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. So it's also kind of funny that
Huh.
like he's fallen in love with his captor there,
Mm-hmm.
that he's
Captive.
holding captive. Yeah, he's the captor. She's the
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was kind of interesting too. And then you in that one too, we also see like the doppelganger to the gun. We're watching uh,
Mm-hmm.
Irving, Helly, Dylan, and Mark do their job. And there's
Yeah.
like that whole cool shot where it like goes down through
Goes
like
down.
the console, which that wasn't CG either. That was like actually shot with like this like microscopic camera move that they did
wow.
and like blended them together, which was
Damn.
crazy when I found that out because I thought that was a CG
I
shot.
didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just all the stuff they did and stuff. So.
I will be right back. Keep talking.
I love that we got to see more of, and I hope I'm saying her name. Why am I? It's
still
just
here.
me. Deachin Lockman, who plays
Yes.
Miss Casey Gemma. I was glad to see her get a lot more to do in this episode. I've loved her since Dollhouse, which is oddly has kind of a similar, not like exactly the same, but there's some parallels with what happens in Dollhouse and with the Severance chip. But she's great,
yeah.
so I was really glad to see her in this series and glad to see her get a lot more to do.
Just good as Daisy's mom in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too.
It's been so long since I watched that. I don't
well,
remember.
she was Quake / Daisy's mom on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm looking to see what else she was in that I probably watched. She was in Altered Carbon. I still need to watch that.
Oh, which does that. That's got Anthony Mackie, right?
I think so. Which, speaking of Anthony Mackie, I just watched Electric State, and he does a voiceover role in that
Oh, yeah,
that I had no idea until the credits that it was him, and it was fantastic. He was great.
Yeah, I wonder. A quick aside for that, it's like I wonder how much of that, like they changed, like with like the audio mixing of that, or like how much of that was him doing a voice.
I don't know. There's definitely some processing on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of it was him doing a voice or how much it was them altering it. But there's not a lot that I've seen her in aside from Dollhouse and this. She was in a couple episodes of Being Human. I did see her in that.
Yes.
She was in about 11 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was in 2 episodes of Supergirl. I never got into Supergirl. Like, I love Melissa Benoist. I love her as Kara. I loved her when she showed up on Flash and any other. But for some reason, the Supergirl show itself, I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why.
It's because you're misogynist, Johnny. That's why.
Clearly.
I'm joking.
Damn. All right. Anything else about Chikai Bardo before we move on? I feel like we could talk about that episode forever, but
Yep.
Well,
Gotta
like
get
the
through
whole
that.
term of like Chikai Bardo is like actually like a thing of like
ego death.
yeah, like like essentially the whole innie versus outie element, which is
Totes.
interesting. And well, yeah, and the card she gets sent in the mail is that same one that Dylan in season
Steals.
1 like stole. So that's like an interesting layer of,
Yep.
like, it basically seems like they're like mailing those out to people that they think, because in all the flashbacks too, like when they're giving the blood, it's like a Lumen blood donation thing. I think when they go for like the IVF appointments, it's also like a Lumen
It
place.
is.
And Mauer is working there at that place too. So it's almost, I'm wondering how much more maybe we'll find out like of that stuff was like coordinated between.
Oh, for sure. They were like,
Limited.
all those blood tests and all the results and things were probably screened through Lumen for selection for whatever they needed. Gemma
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. Well,
That's
and then
what
to get-
people have been theorizing, that they do all these things to pick people, but we still don't know if like she went willingly or they just stole her and faked her death, or what happened exactly. So
yeah,
something we don't know yet.
I
20
suspect that she did not go willingly, and that because
Yeah.
as far as Mark knew, she was dead. And there was apparently
Yeah.
a body that he identified. So, yeah.
Yeah.
To go back to the consent stuff earlier too, if she has 25 severed personas, that's a whole other
Kettle of fish.
yeah.
We thought 7
Finger trap.
Horcruxes was a lot. 25.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
All right, episode 8, Sweet Vitriol. This is directed by Ben Stiller. Harmony visits her hometown of Salt's Neck and meets up with an old friend, Hampton, who helps her visit her old house where her Aunt Sissy still lives, who is still a cunt. While there, she mourns her mom's passing and finds her old journal showing that she actually came up with a bunch of the Lumon procedures, I don't know, things,
But
designs,
Every
like everything.
Severance was her. Yeah, the whole Severance procedure was her project.
The OTC, yeah.
I'm gonna team these tempers asshole.
Yeah, which I had no idea. Like, I did not see that coming. I think that was an interesting, like, twist to things for sure. Yeah. What did you think, Mark? I definitely I will say one thing that I've also seen a lot of other people talk about is that like people like hated the episode. I didn't hate the episode. I think it was good backstory, especially for her, because she's such an interesting character in all forms. And I just wish it was like interspersed with like other stuff. Like it was kind of weird that it was essentially like a standalone episode. But yeah,
like
sorry,
like
go
maybe
ahead, Mark.
like some of her stuff, maybe like some of this was interspersed in throughout the, maybe not episode 7, but like throughout the episodes, the few weeks before that, because I think we don't see her after that episode where she has the altercation out front of Lumon with Helena, and she'd already started
see her,
driving
I
to
think,
Salt
once
Neck
at the next episode she's driving and we see the Salt Neck sign, but then that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like maybe like I don't know how well it would have, like I don't want to do the job for them, but like I don't know like how well it would have edited interspersed together throughout those episodes, like maybe like how that would have flowed that way, or maybe it just ends up working better as its like own side story with like the way that it has to like push that kind of momentum into the penultimate episode and then the finale after it, just with, so I don't know.
It's one of the things I did see was someone talked about it being like, felt like the B plot of an episode where the A plot was missing. So like there were scenes that should have been interspersed that weren't there. And I think maybe when we go back and rewatch season 2 and didn't have like a week before and a week after that episode without anything, it'll fit better. It'll like flow better than it does in a week to week. But it did feel weird to spend so much time away from MDR and the innies.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
that was also felt more too because episode 7 was also kind of like its own.
Yeah.
Like I know it's not a bottle episode because that's like a different thing, but like self-contained and then other kind of self-contained.
It was almost all flashbacks. Yeah. Basically.
It was either flashbacks or flash sideways.
We're done with Lost.
Flash,
put it away.
Flash severed?
No flash sideways.
Johnny's like, never again.
Severed flash. Well, now you guys are going to watch Flash Forward, the other show with Dominic Monaghan and Sonya Welger.
I watched some of it when it was on. Anywho,
I
episode 9.
For a movie coming out that Sawyer's in.
Yes, we're very excited. Also, I don't think I showed off my water droplets on my eyes.
The Lumon wall.
Anyways.
Wait, do it
all
again.
right.
Do it again.
No. Marcus.
Aurelius.
Episode 9, The After Hours. This is also directed by Uda Brzezowicz. Mark and Devin meet Kabelvig in the middle of bumfuck nowhere and decide to go to the birthing retreat so that Mark can talk to himself. Gretchen tells Audi Dylan about the kiss and he threatens to quit. So she tells any Dylan that she can't see him anymore. So Dylan tries to propose and she walks out. This ultimately makes any Dylan quit anyways. Bert takes Irv to the train station and drops him off, telling him to go to the end of the line and never come back. Milkshake tells Miss Wong her fellowship is over and sends her on her way to her empathy work. And then we get the really creepy James showing up as Helly's trying to memorize the directions.
Yeah.
Oh, and also him earlier in that episode watching her eat an egg.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
making this sound.
No, it wasn't that. I was like,
Okay. And then I wish you'd eat them raw or take them raw.
Yeah.
I was like, I would never
Okay,
want to
Gollum.
I would never want to hear a parent say that to me. Be like, you're talking about the egg, right? The egg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the egg.
Yeah, James,
Just a little fucking weird.
James is a little
She's
off.
like, I did
Jame.
take Marcus.
It's just
Yeah.
James.
James is a little off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the S is gone, so that's why he's a little off.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Jaime Egan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jaime.
Oh, never mind.
Anyways, thoughts on this episode?
This has so much great interaction between Mark and Devin. Devin is one of my favorite characters in this show.
She's so good.
Mark's,
or even when Cobell first comes up and she's like, "How are you doing?" He's like, "So good."
yeah.
So good.
When she's like, "Am I me or am I a coffee maker or copier or whatever it was?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Tragically, you're you."
LOL.
And then I
I
guess
want to know
Okay.
how Devin ended up with Rickon. Like,
Hey,
we got to see a little bit
attract.
of Devin and Rickon at the dinner, which was cool. The dinner the four of them had.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I like Devin a lot.
Yeah, yo también. She's great. She's a badass, especially like with her with Ragabi a couple episodes prior, and she's like, I have, what did she say?
Of his brain.
Custody of his brain. Like, you're not going to do anything else to him. Like, how protective she is. Like, I'm an only child, so like I like obviously can't relate to that, but like out of the people I know that are siblings, like I don't think I know anyone that's like really that close with their sibling.
How do you have a sister?
But like you don't live close to each other.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I would.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. She just like, I don't know. She's just badass. I love her. She's great.
It's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I will say when here, Gady's Toys, aka Andrew. I did water droplets. Shitty water droplets, but they're water droplets.
Well, if they were shitty water
They
droplets,
look
they'd be brown.
wonderful.
Thank you. I was gonna say when when Dylan proposes to Gretchen, and then she walks away, and he's like, "Gretchen!"
Yeah.
It's like, the way he yelled it was just so funny to me.
I think it's just Zach Cherry's like, because I watched the like, hey, Spider-Man, do a flip. That's like that same like pitch.
Yeah. But yeah. Anything else about this episode? I was like sad to see Miss Wong go because I feel like I grew to like her character, especially like how much she kind of like pushed back at Milkshake. But yeah.
I guess this episode is like, the title is like an homage to a Twilight Zone episode called After Hours,
Yes.
which is like about like this mannequin that comes alive on like
For like 1 month.
yeah, like on this special floor. So it's kind of like an interesting thing there. And then this is the episode that has Devour Feculence
Yes.
in it too.
Eat shit, Mr. Drummond. I love that. I'm like, I just want to see a little bit of like fuck you from Milkshake, and he finally did it. It was great.
Monosyllabically.
Yeah. It was great.
It seems like he's kind of like he's like slow to it, but he is like getting, agitated and like
Yeah.
Which also, like, fuck off, Lumen, because like
yeah.
they're the most pretentious motherfucking company. They have Macrodata Refinement, optics and design, the fucking Ort Bow, a waffle party, melon bar, defiant jazz music dance experience, cheer and merriment. What's that?
Mammalians nurturable.
Mammalians nurturables. Like, and you're telling people about using big fucking words? Get fuck off.
I know. And just like the way they talk in general is just like so
pretentious.
Weird.
That's a whole other thing too.
There you go.
Because the company was founded in 1865 too. So, and then like there's that painting of the original Egan, and it looks like is he wearing blue or gray? And for the I think he was wearing a Southern uniform in the painting.
Oh.
So it's supposed to be like maybe this is like an alternate like alt history where something else happened
the
after
North one. Or sorry, the South one.
Oh yeah. Like this after the Civil War, so like Severance is almost like this alternate version of like slavery basically in a way. Just like more hidden. And that's why just like at least with like Drummond, like Drummond's like a little bit less subtle about it, but like how they're like all these like micro like aggressions and some not so microaggressions like against like Milchek and Natalie, especially with like those paintings and whatnot.
Yeah, the black face paintings.
Yeah, so it's more like
he was like, "How do you feel about it?" And she's like, "I can't say anything."
It almost feels like you're not allowed to talk like you're educated. You need to talk like you're like dumb. So
yeah,
do that. Feels
yeah. Okay, I think we need to move on to Cold Harbor, episode 10. I am going to use the notes you sent us, Mark, and break it down by different parts of the episode. So the first part is we have Mark's mission. Through recorded messages, Mark's Audi instructs his innie to rescue Gemma from the testing floor once the Cold Harbor file is completed. Otherwise, she will die. However, Mark's innie resents being asked to sacrifice himself and Helly for this. And then we have finalizing the Cold Harbor file. The next day, Mark completes the Cold Harbor file while Dylan returns to read a letter from his Audi. Mark is then celebrated with a marching band, which that was just so funny in general. Like, I was not expecting that, and like the whole like way he was introduced with the Kier wax statue way milkshake. Yeah,
choreography and
he's wax but also animatronic. Yeah.
Which I like to see. That was like another little thing, like chip that he did at them too. He's like, you were actually 5 inches shorter than this in real life.
Which
also, Ben Stiller
leave
does
it to
Good.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say Ben Stiller does the voice for the animatronic, and anytime like you hear
I thought Mark Geller did that.
maybe I know that for most of the Kier stuff,
They did it.
Ben Stiller.
There's only been one thing that was Ben Stiller in the first season.
I thought he did it in the like the animated thing on the computer screen.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Like the 8-bit thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I think Mark Geller I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Because Mark Geller has been on the Severed podcast, which I listened to. So then we have Helly's distraction, which Helly distracts Milchek and locks him in a bathroom to give Mark time to search for the hallway leading to the testing floor, which I thought was so funny. She kept asking the band, she's like, can someone help me? I'm like, if the band, like, for the longest time, I'm like, are they just robots? Because, like, they clearly saw what was happening and just kept going.
That's
like, it's so weird.
Merriment. That's what they gotta do.
So weird to me. Until, of course, Milkshake says something, and then they stop, and that's when Helly's like, you guys. Then we have Gemma's task, which on the testing floor, Gemma is forced to disassemble the crib that Mark had built for their baby. Dr. Maurer and James Egan observe, satisfied that this does not trigger any emotional reaction with her, which as soon as I saw that crib, I was like, y'all can fuck all the way off. Yeah. All the way the fuck off. I was like, that is horrible, like absolutely fucking horrible. Obviously this Gemma has hopefully no idea what's going on with this, and that was obviously the test to try to see if there was any emotional response to it. But like, to put someone through that, like, to even that being a remote possibility of her realizing that, like, is just horrible. Like, it's like she's already been through enough with that. Like, I don't know. And it just sucks because, like, I think it's gotten better with people talking about miscarriages, but like, it's so common and it's such a horrible thing, and it sucks that like it's so taboo that a lot of people feel like they can't talk about it. But yeah, it's to put someone through that is just so fucking shitty. Like, so shitty. All right, next part. Mark's escape attempt. Mark tries to break into the export's hallway, which draws Mr. Drummond's attention as Drummond prepares to sacrifice a lamb as part of a ritual. He gets distracted and attempts to stop Mark. And then we have the cinematic climactic fight at the end where Lorne, aka Brienne of Tarth, intervenes, preventing Drummond from killing Mark. Mark then takes Drummond into the elevator leading the testing floor. During the transition, Mark accidentally kills Drummond. The episode ends on a suspenseful note, leaving questions about Gemma's fate, Mark's next move, and the consequences of his actions. I thought that was kind of funny that he ended up killing him just because he transitioned, which, like, could not imagine him coming out of it and be like, what the fuck? Like, also, that was a weird ass gun too. I was like, I don't know what that is.
That's like they use that to, like, usually with like goats or like sheep to euthanize or kill them. And I only remember that because of the movie, Country for Old Men, because like that's like his weapon of choice in that. It's like basically it just shoots out super pressured air. So it doesn't actually like shoot anything. It's just shooting.
Well, he put a bullet into it.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's similar to the thing then, but yeah, it's like I know it's like a weird kind of thing that's like used to euthanize.
I was wondering if it was actually a bullet. I didn't go to check to look, or
He
if it
put a
was
bullet
like
in. I saw.
a severance chip or something else. But I know he
No, it
removed
was a
something. It was a
silver
bullet.
bullet.
A silver bullet. Is it a weregoat?
Well, there's been so many
Weregoats
theories with the
exist?
goats, with like cloning and everything. And I guess the goat was ultimately like they kill it at the same time because they're gonna kill Gemma to like help with her passage
Yeah,
to the
it
other
sounded
side or
like
what
the
the fuck
goat was
ever.
going to guide Gemma to Kier.
Yeah.
Fucking goat.
I don't know. It was a whole thing. And then with obviously James watching it at the same time, like watching everything happen, and then also like Dr. Mauer's like watching it, and then I don't know, like I still don't know what the fuck, like there's the whole theory that they're trying to like essentially reincarnate Kier into someone else, and so a lot of people think it's James, um, and then maybe Helly or whatever, but I don't know.
All I know is this company is full of a bunch of voyeuristic fucks.
Yes, they really are. They really are.
Everybody watching everybody else.
Yep. Very true.
And we work there.
I mean, you're the
Yeah,
one
so
multimedia analytics. You're the one that's
Yeah.
seemingly probably watching all that stuff because you're
But yeah,
analyzing it through multimedia.
what a finale though. I feel like it like so like it was like a movie. It was like a movie in an episode essentially. So much happened. I feel like it really built well. And yeah, I was like, I knew it wasn't going to have a happy ending. I knew it was probably going to have a cliffhanger like season 1. But like, goddamn. like putting like having Gemma escape and then any Marc go back with Helly and they just run. I'm like, where do y'all think you're going?
Yeah.
Like, what's the plan, Phil?
I sent you that thing earlier today where I thought it was kind of like a cool like poetic symmetry in a way where like the season opens with Marc running by himself to look for Miss Casey, aka Gemma, and then the season ends with him hand in hand with Helly running through those same halls. So I thought that was like a cool kind of bookending symmetrical thing going on there in a way. And then I can't take credit for it, but I saw someone post something about like the "see you at the equator" line was a cool symbolic thing too, because of like how we're because like how where the equators the the middle of middle line where it's kind of gonna be like where the innies and outies have to like quote unquote like meet each other like so they can kind of coalesce there, and then with Lumon's logo being like where Lumon is in the middle there, it's kind of along the equator. So with, like Helly and Marc saying they're going to meet each other at the equator, it's
like meet at Lumon.
Yeah, so it's rather interesting.
I just want to say, the equator gets all the fucking credit. Let's hear it for the prime meridian for once. Like, the prime meridian doesn't get any attention. Everybody talks about the fucking equator. Let's give some recognition to the prime meridian, for God's sake.
Is it the prime meridian, or is it the other one on the other side that's the like UTC time?
UTC.
Yeah,
like
the prime
Greenwich.
meridian is whereas the equator is 0 degrees
the prime meridian
longitude, the prime meridian is 0 degrees latitude.
The prime meridian goes through Greenwich Village in the in the UK.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thor the Dark
UTC is Greenwich Mean Time, I think it is. But yeah. That's the international, or that's not the international date line though.
No,
I think that's a different.
It's in the Pacific.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was like, it's one of them.
Anyway, fucking give it up for the Prime Meridian. Come on. Holding down the vertical.
Your Innie is a big fan of the Prime Meridian.
The Audi probably likes the fucking equator.
Probably.
LOL. But yeah, this season's fucking crazy. Also, like, I don't know if we trust Harmony. I watched this episode twice and I was still kind of confused by their dialogue, but like it seems like she wants to like fuck you, Lumon, but also still has her own ulterior motives.
We trust her as long as her interests ally with our own. As soon as they don't, she's gonna fucking betray everybody.
Yeah.
I was surprised that Milchek was still rah Lumon. Like, I thought he was gonna end up like helping them.
Yeah. Same.
Because they've kind of been treating him like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's. I don't know. I feel like maybe when we see him in season 3, which finally officially got renewed today for season 3. So that's good. Hopefully we don't have to wait 2 years for that.
Tremel Tillman is fantastic.
He was so good this episode.
Great. We can say Adam Scott, Britt Lauer, who I have fallen in love with. I hadn't seen her in anything before this, but I went back and watched a bunch of stuff with her. She's great. Patricia Arquette, Zach Cherry, Deachin Logman, John Turturro, and Christopher Walken in Romance. Never would have fucking expected to root for John Turturro and Christopher Walken to get together, but
which apparently Christopher Walken is bi. I had no idea.
I had no idea.
We love a bi king.
Also,
Sydney Cole Alexander. We talked about Sarah Bach, who is Eustace Huang. Sydney Cole Alexander is Natalie. Devin is Jen Toluk. I don't.
We had the Tinkerer is Devin, or not Devin, but Rickon.
Yeah, he's on the list here somewhere. I'm looking at like the thing. I don't know. I don't remember who Gabby Arteta is. She's played by Nora Dale. Gabby.
Fuck. Why am I blanking now?
Was that Mark's girl or girlfriend or the person that he went on a few dates with from season
1? I think so.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, just everybody in this fucking show is amazingly talented and awesome.
Yes. Agreed. And I mean, just like the imagery, the cinematography, the metaphors, the commentary, the layers, like there's so many like parts of this show that I feel like we could talk about it forever and ever and ever, but we don't have forever and ever and ever. But yeah, I think
I took a non-Lumon antihistamine and it's not working.
Oh no.
That's why I keep turning my camera off, so you
and that's why Lumon
the
they did start with salves and ointments.
Oh yeah, that's
Lumon
right.
Pharmaceuticals.
I do have some Lumon moisturizer in the other room.
No.
But it's filled in eye, so I think they're trying to be shady. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about kind of like each of the characters real quick and like what we think is going to happen in the future for them?
Really quick from the finale, though, I think that just based on the finale that Adam Scott should get an Emmy nomination for that scene with himself. Mostly.
Yeah. It was very Gollum and Smeagol.
Yeah. And I think just like editing for the show should like win an Emmy too, because like the editing,
everything
is
so good.
Yeah,
set design.
Yes, all the things. I think it needs to
all the things
at the Emmys.
It better.
Season 2.
Hashtag Severance sweep.
The
Um,
the
go
Mark
ahead.
S. Mark Scout conversation, just as I was like, they were showing the back and forth and them doing with the camera, just as I was like, okay, this is cool but kind of tedious, they started to cut it just like it was a conversation between two characters, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I said the same thing when I'm watching it. I was like, oh no, this might
Well,
get boring.
I feel like they have to do that because it has to like ramp up and like
Yeah.
so that you
Mhm.
can kind of like build that momentum of like doing it.
That
Like,
tension.
Yeah, they did it at the perfect time. They know what
They
they're
did.
doing.
yeah,
They do.
Which
they're like,
it's
just
so,
do it now.
it's
They're
so,
gonna think it's gonna get tedious. Do it now. Start speed up.
it's so can I say how fucking unexpected it is
No.
for this show, this weird mind-bending trippy sci-fi show, to come from Ben Stiller.
I know. I know. And like having Adam Scott as the lead too. Like never would have guessed.
Which was
Like,
based off of Ben Stiller's recommendation.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
then this was all
He
from
really
like
wanted
Dan
him.
Erickson, who created the show,
Yep.
like worked at a door, like a door factory. So that's where like the whole
Mhm.
Dylan thing earlier in the season like came from.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, some interesting stuff. Also, John
Yeah.
Noble and Christopher Walken, that couple, they had way too many salt and pepper shakers. Like
It's
way
for their
too
salt
many.
and pepper hair.
Or I guess for their tomatoes.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha.
Uh,
Not the tomatoes. Okay, so let's start with the main boy, Mark Scout. He, I mean, goddamn, does he like he goes through a lot just in this episode, but obviously has gone through a lot this whole season with reintegration. Like, I don't know how the fuck he does it, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the fuck their plan is going forward, cuz like, yeah, you can't really leave without becoming your Audi again unless they put the block on them,
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess.
block.
Yeah, which like who knows how they're going to do that, but yeah. Thoughts on Mark with the K.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were. I didn't know if you were talking to me. It's getting confusing. I think Adam Scott does a really good job as Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys prefer any Mark or Audi Mark?
Any.
Audi Mark's kind of a drag.
Yeah, he's
Like,
kind of a
he's
dick.
funny. Tragically, you're you.
Yeah.
Oh god, so good. Like,
Yeah.
he's great. But
Yeah.
So good.
he's kind of a stick in the.
Yeah.
That was almost him bleeding into. That was almost Adam Scott bleeding into his Party Down character,
Mm-hmm.
with that mentality for the oh my god, so good.
I've heard of that
Mhm.
show, but I've never watched it.
I've
Basically,
watched some of it.
any Mark is Ben Wyatt, and Audi Mark is Adam Scott in Party Down. But yeah, I don't know. I really like Adam Scott's like portrayal of Mark in the show, especially like being able to go back and forth with that, like like
Yeah.
how like showing the kind of like naivete and like almost like wonderment of life because he's not like brought down by like crushing like depression and grief that he's going through or and then we found out that like he had become an alcoholic too with that
Which
too.
we all kind of knew that,
Yeah.
or we guessed.
Well, yeah, because there's that line I think in season 1 too where they thought he's like, "Are you hungover?" And he's like, "What?" So the
Which we figured it was from crying, but like
Yeah.
especially this season, I feel like there was a lot more hints to it. Like in
and he
Chikai
outright
Bardo when. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
and he outright says to his innie like he got fired from his teaching job because he showed up drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Which I had a coworker show up to work drunk once. He was fired and sent home immediately.
I had a coworker
As you should.
that did that once too, and they went to their desk, and then I heard them throw up. And they threw up all over their desk, and that was fun because it was like in an enclosed room. So
There were
smells.
kids at my school that showed up drunk or high or on drugs.
This was
And
just
they
this was
got-
just a sales associate at unnamed national retail electronics chain.
What does it rhyme with?
Lumen. No.
West guy.
Okay, who do we want to talk about next? Helly?
Helly, because Brit's amazing.
Yes. Yes.
Like
The
you're talking
circus.
about Adam being good at like portraying the two different
Oh,
sides of the same
Yeah.
character.
Mhm.
Brit does a really good job too with
yeah. Whole different
like,
walk.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Helly moves with purpose.
She gets it.
She's always
Yeah,
in like a fighting stance.
I mean, she was about to fucking stab James Egan at the beginning
Yeah.
of this
With the pen.
episode. Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I'm just gonna read from the notes. She continues to fight against Lumon's control after learning she is Helly Egan. She struggles with being a symbol of rebellion while feeling trapped by her own identity. Develops a deeper bond with Marc, potentially turning romantic. I mean, it did. Works with the underground resistance. What is this, Star Wars? To expose Lumon's secrets, and helps distract Milchek to give Marc time to escape. Which, once again, the marching band, like Dylan coming in and pushing the vending machine over to block Milchek from coming out, and then Helly using the trombone to hit Milchek in the head. So good. Like that whole scene was like both like comical and just like, you know, building the tension, and like my anxiety was like, oh god, don't let him get out. And then when he like pushes it and it falls, then he jumps on top of it. It was
Like feral.
yes. I was like, is he an animal now? Like just the way he stands, he's like ready to go. He's
It's
like,
well,
okay.
I had huge Wolverine vibes. What like
Yes.
like
He's
he
like,
could play Wolverine.
He's the
Yeah.
Milchek Marine.
yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
I liked that shot though of Dylan with the band behind him, and he's like, "Fuck you, Milchek."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was great. And yeah, I was glad Helly was able to get them on their side. But yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that like we really only got like 5 episodes with Helly, really, because you know, there was the whole episode with Kobelvig. So, you know, I don't know. I wish we had more of her, and like, you know, I think yeah, she did a really good job at portraying both Helena and Helly.
Quick question: would either of you pineapple bob?
No, I'm not
Seems
crazy.
It seems like it would be painful.
It would be painful. People are crazy if they do that.
People in the comments, would you pineapple bob?
Which was cool how they had every like
Every
they
version
had
of Helly
the
with her face underwater.
they showed the pineapple bobbing, and then yeah, showed when like Irv was holding her face underwater, and made people think that something was gonna happen with like pineapple bobbing thing, but it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Well, and then when Helena's swimming, there's that shot where it looks just like her face in the water again too.
A lot of water. I wonder why.
There's like a water droplet in Lumon's logo.
They
got the big ass water tower.
The building looks like a water droplet.
I could never do the.
Oh no.
I can't do it now.
I'm not gonna try. I'll fuck up my makeup. Okay. Who do we want to talk about next? Dylan,
G.
Irving, Dylan G. Every time I see or like say Dylan G, it makes me think of Kevin G from Mean Girls. Can't touch Kevin G. Nope. Okay. He does the rap.
It's not October.
He's in the Mathletes.
I've never watched Mean Girls.
You go, Glen Coco.
Mark, can you take Johnny away for a second?
Okay. She's just gonna put you in the burn book.
How has he not seen Mean Girls? How did I not know this either? Okay, you can bring it back. And we're back.
Today, Geek the F Out is announcing that they're going to be doing an episode called Mean Girls, Re-Mean Girls.
Hey, we can do that. It is a cultural staple, honestly.
I mean, I know I should watch it because Amanda Seyfried's in it, but
yeah, you love her.
She has ESPN.
So
yeah.
much. She's from Allentown in Pennsylvania.
Hey, just like Marc S's award. Brought it back around to... He did that on purpose. So.
And Allentown was the Christmas card thank yous.
Nice.
Yep.
With, yeah.
All right, Dylan G.
Do a flip, Dylan G.
Do a flip.
Thoughts on his arc?
My favorite thing with him was the letter from Outie Dylan to Any Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. First of all, fuck you.
Yeah.
Which I was like, yep, that's Dylan. That's definitely Dylan.
I like how his Innie and Outie are... They have like the least differences, kind of, between one another. It almost just seems like Innie Dylan is essentially just Outie Dylan prior to just like feeling all of the weight of the... I guess what he assumes, is everything, which I guess that's pretty much like all of the Innie Outie thing, kind of, because they're all... That's like the whole thing about the Innies and Outies, anyways. It's like they're all technically the same person. It's just them, just remove some of the stuff
memories.
And then
yeah. Yep. What was I gonna say? Shit. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Dylan kind of had a bit of a roller coaster. I mean, not as like extreme as like Marc or Helly, obviously, but like, you know, it sucked to see him lose Irving. Like, you know, he was really sad about that, and then dealing with... And then, like, he's getting happy again with Gretchen coming in. But then, they kiss. And his Audie's like, nope, can't do that. And then he tries to propose. And then it's sad. And then, like, he gets purpose again and helps Helly. So, I don't know. I feel like overall, he had a upward trajectory. But it was still a bit of a roller coaster, for sure.
It does kind of suck to see him. He was so Team Lumon at the start. It is kind of
for
sad
the rewards.
Yeah,
you know?
But he becomes disillusioned with Lumon as this series goes on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as one should.
Too.
Yeah. Totes, my goats. Irving. Emil. Do we think we're gonna see Irving next season?
I think so. They didn't...
I hope so.
Like, they didn't resolve anything with his character. Like, who was he talking to on the phone? How was he doing the investigation? How did he get all that information about the severed employees? Like, we need to get closure on that stuff. So I imagine he'll be back.
But do we ever get to see any Irving B again, or just Audi?
I bet we see any Irv again.
Okay. I hope,
'Cause
but
he still has
I
the
could
chip in his
see,
head. There's
I
always a
could see
chance
us
for him to come back.
not at the same time.
It's
I don't
possible,
know.
but
Mhm.
I feel like we'll see him again.
What do you think, Mark?
Maybe we won't see him till the series finale.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it might be something we'd have to like read up maybe behind the scenes on if like John Turturro didn't actively want to be on the show anymore for a while because he is John Turturro. I don't know, because I know every once in a while like that happens with some shows, you know, like Mr. Echo or I think more recent like what's her name, the Juliette Lewis played the older version of Natalie in Yellow Jackets. I guess that's what happened with her on that show, is that she wanted to be written out. But yeah, so I don't know
about that.
I don't know if that's like a behind the scenes thing. Maybe like, I mean, that is a good way for like if that is the last time you see Irving.
Yeah,
That's kind of a good ending for him. But
Irving B. I think we'll at least see Audi Irving.
Yeah.
Could be like that, and this is how I made myself sad, because a Fred and Illyria situation. So anytime I think of Fred and Illyria, I get sad.
What are you talking about?
Winifred Burkle from Angel.
I've never watched Buffy or Angel.
You're proud. You know what? You saved yourself some pain, because I'm about to cry thinking about Fred and Illyria. Like, I love Fred. She's great. She was played by Amy Ocker. Love her.
I'll take your word for it.
And then there was Illyria.
I would like to see the Macrodata team reunited, like all four of them.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be cool
reunited.
Especially because as far as like Dylan G and Helly and Marc S all are aware Irving B is just like gone. So it could be interesting to see him show back up in some way, if like wherever he's going on that train, maybe find something else out and just like, oh, I have to go back.
Okay, Jack.
It's like, which, like, we kind of get confirmation that, like, Bert kind of, like, took care of people.
Yeah.
Like,
but he didn't actually kill them. He just, like, dropped them off.
I mean, he drove them to where they were getting killed.
He says that. True. He didn't want to know what happened.
I just drove them to their death. Maybe they're not dead. Maybe they're all permanently severed in some other
maybe
weird
they're in purgatory
facility. Yeah.
Bring it all back. Bring it back.
Bring it all back to crazy Lost theories.
Bring it back.
They did have that turbulence one.
They did. I know. There was, I mean, they did, they were influenced a lot by Lost, as they've said.
Yeah, their lockers. That was the thing, too. It was like their lockers.
Oh, the lockers were the numbers.
15, 16, 23. Yeah. But apparently Ben Stiller says he's never seen Lost.
So but Dan Erickson has.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I guess it's
and
somebody else. Yeah, it's somebody else.
He's the actual mind behind it. Yeah. So Ben Stiller's just funding it.
And which is funny.
He's directing. He's directing.
He's directing, and I thought he had writer's credit on some of the episodes.
Probably.
Well, he's also like one of the biggest names attached to it too. So you're gonna, you know, use that name to.
Oh no, he doesn't have writing credit on any of the episodes. Yeah, the writing is almost all Dan Erickson.
Mm-hmm. I know there's some other people that pitch in.
Which okay. I need to. I want to. So sorry, tangent time. I want to talk to people in the industry and find this out, because we see this sometimes with the Mandalorian and Star Wars stuff, particularly. People go like, oh, it's a Bryce Dallas Howard episode. It's gonna be good. It depends on who writes it. Like the director can't just wholesale change the script, can they? Like I don't think they have that much power to be like
normal
nope.
TV production. It's normally like the producers that have like the most say, but now when it comes to streaming, that's kind of
which
like
Ben Stiller is a producer.
Yeah. Adam Scott is too.
So is Patricia Arquette.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of producers on this. Executive producers: Ben Stiller, Nicholas Weinstock, Jackie Cohn, Mark Friedman, Dan Erickson, Andrew Colville, Chris Black, John Cameron, Bo Williman, Caroline Barron, Jordan Tapas, Adam Scott, Patricia Arquette. And then just producers. It looks like
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, it's an Irish name. Aoife. It probably is pronounced Mikhail.
What? Ife.
It's like when you see the name, I'm going to type it. Siobhan, but it's Siobhan. Like,
yeah.
But this guy's name is
Sibohan.
Saoirse
Ronan. Johan Griffith.
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic.
Aoife. I don't know how you say it.
Ray
McCardle, Amanda Overton, and Gary Robert Byrne are just producers.
Okay.
And I think that if I remember correctly, executive producers are just people who generally put money towards it, and producers are the people who actually make it like happen. So yeah. I don't know, but if Ben Stiller's executive producer and director,
and then
yeah,
super fun fact: associate producers usually people that didn't do anything but are just related to someone that did something, or their name is somehow connected to it, but they didn't do anything. So it's more just of like a here's your credit.
Yeah. Okay, Gemma / Miss Casey. I'm so glad we finally got more backstory. I wish it, was more than like 1.5 episodes, basically. Do we think that next season it's gonna be about like her trying to get Mark out, or like what do we think?
It could be.
What role
it would be
play.
Interesting if they flipped and we followed like Gemma on a quest to get Mark back. But I think we're probably we might see a lot more of her, which would be great because like I already talked about how much I like the actress.
Yeah.
But she might be up there like a lot more screen time this next season. But I feel like we're still going to spend the majority of the time with Mark and Helly.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I feel like they could go a few directions with it,
Yeah, maybe she's still just in the stairwell the entire time.
But I mean, they could pick up again right where they left off.
Yeah,
like
they could.
This season picked up like immediately after the end of season 1. So
I would hope that they do. I don't know. Who knows though? Let's see. Cobell is definitely going to be back and be a badass. Milchek is definitely going to be back. He better be. They better not fire him, even though, like, at this point, like, he should be fired. Or he's going to be fired and then, like, he's going to, like, seek his revenge or something.
I don't know. We could be thrown for a loop because his biggest
half loop
source of contention seemed to be with Drummond. And, well, Drummond's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys like true. Ben Stiller, Adam Scott, and Drummond, I suggest checking out The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, where you can see all 3 of those people in that movie.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. I feel like we probably won't see Christopher Walken again, sadly.
Also, has anybody talked about how frightening close Bert and Irving are to Bert and Ernie? Like, is that
Oh yeah, people have
intentional?
talked about it. Yeah,
Or is
I think
that
so.
okay?
Well, because everyone thinks that Bert and Ernie were gay
Yeah.
too.
Well, I mean,
So
they are. They are.
are they? I don't think
They
it's
are.
canon.
They
It's
are.
people's head canon.
They are.
Oh,
Because Johnny
oh, it's
loves
been
that
so
term.
long. No, why?
Rubber ducky
God
is
damn
code.
it! You snuck. Oh, that was dirty, and not in the good way.
Not in the good way. Okay, anything else before any theories before we do our that's what they said?
I'm gonna need that. That's what they said because someone didn't send them to me.
I don't. I was just pleasantly surprised with like how much they answered in this episode too, or like in the finale too, because like Cabell like straight up says like what they were refining was the tempers.
Yeah,
You're muted.
You're muted, Kayla.
You're muted.
Sorry. I think they had to tell us something, and I think obviously there's still a lot more to it that we don't know. You know, exactly why they're doing that with her. I still don't quite understand how it even fucking works. Like, you know, like just because you're refining those things and how it relates to her and it's like when I think about time travel, I can't think about it too much. I just need to like take it for what it is.
Wibbly wobbly,
timey-wimey
windy,
stuff.
windy.
What if they
Severance
really
stuff.
throw us for a loop and next season is it a completely different branch of Lumon and we don't follow any of these characters?
Yeah, it's Marc W.
Don't say that.
It's those 4 characters that we
They
met
wouldn't do
in
that.
this episode, in the premiere.
I feel like if it's gonna be something like that, they're gonna like take like
They would
Dylan
do like one episode
and put him in a different branch, and then somehow the rest of them will be intermingled into it.
You know, that's what I was kind of thinking. That could be a way to see Irving be again, is if like some weird thing happens and he goes undercover at like a different Lumon branch.
I think they would probably catch on to it pretty quickly with all the cameras and stuff they have and technology.
I mean, the Spice Girls part wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, Allison. My headcanon is that Johnny loves headcanon, and his headcanon is very elaborate and involves the Spice Girls. You're welcome. Nails on a chalkboard for Johnny. One thing I meant to say before is I hope we learn more about Ragabi next season, because I feel like she just comes into these seasons, does some crazy shit, and then leaves, and we learn nothing about her. And I feel like it's probably like, even though she does like she still works at Lumon, but I wonder if she's connected to whoever Irving was talking to on the phone, maybe.
Or she might be who Irving was talking to on the phone.
Yeah. But it seems like whoever...
I can't take credit for that. Kayla
I did say that
earlier. Yeah.
I did say that earlier, but at the same time, I feel like it probably won't be, because it seems like he's giving them information that like she probably already knows because she works there and isn't severed. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
It's interesting. There's definitely going to be lots of things. I don't think that... Yeah, I'm sure there's some more strange out there crackpot theories. Like, I don't think the whole Orpo was a virtual reality holodeck situation. I do think there's more sinister cult-like things going on in Lumon. I'd be interested, because like if they've got Macrodata Refinement going on and Mammalian's nurturable, like there's got to be some other fucking out there batshit insane things that they do. So it'd be interesting to plumb the depths of Lumon and see how far their shit actually goes. What does the PE stand for? Like where are they actually? Like that's why I liked the world building behind the episode 8, the Selvig episode. I appreciated it, but didn't like missed the time away from the Indies, which I don't know. I thought this. I think I was gonna say it, but I didn't. Which let's give some props to Apple TV for like not having 17 minutes of credits at the end of the episode. So when you look at the runtime, it's close to what it actually is.
Kind of.
It's better than.
I mean, they do that. They do the after the episode stuff, though.
That's true, but even that seems like it's less than like when you look at Disney Plus, you have to subtract like 20 minutes from the episode because of all the international credits that are stuck on at the end.
It's like going to a movie at AMC theaters.
And while like the Selvig episode again was short, it was like only 35 minutes compared to the normal like 45. This finale was 76 minutes long, which was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazeballs. All right, shall we do our That's What They Saids?
Yes.
I don't have them.
Discord.
Oh. No?
Did it not send?
Nope. The only thing I have is the Google
Oh, it
Doc
says
we've
failed
been
to
looking
send.
Wow.
Was it flagged?
Technical difficulties.
Why is it taking so long to send?
Here, I sent it because you sent it as a text to me, so I'll just send it as.
Okay.
Woof. Bark, woof, bark.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, woof, bark.
It's taking so long to send. I can't text it to you, can I?
No, phone's right here.
Yeah. It has to be on Discord, Mark.
Oh.
Okay. It says it's sending. It's just
or
taking...
Instagram. You can send it as an Instagram.
Okay, let me try on Instagram. Degram.
There's one. Is it just the one?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Oh, of course yours worked. Mine's still sending.
Well,
Rip
All right.
sucks to suck.
Right.
Anyways.
It's a good segue.
Mark, you go first. Johnny, then me.
Okay. That is a magnificent helmet.
Can you turn this down? The music, it's pretty
I
loud.
thought I had it pretty quiet, but I guess not. Here, I'll say it again.
There you
That
go.
is a magnificent helmet.
Was a pineapple involved?
Nice sack.
Is it gonna hurt?
What does your mouth taste like?
Oh God.
I'm coming.
Nice. We shared vessels.
Let's do it tonight.
Open wide, please.
Right. Turn around and bend over.
My mouth hurts.
You can top me off anytime.
I'll watch.
I wish you'd take them raw.
It's long and black and hidden.
Is it like a top bottom situation?
What do you feel?
Yay. Those are your That's What They Said for Severance Season 2, which...
I have to say the Let's Do It Tonight. I always think of Aqua Hunger Force and Hand Banana. Tonight. You. What do you mean by that? If you don't know, look it up. It's funny.
You don't know. Now you know. Because you know.
Okay.
All right. Thanks everyone for geeking the F out with us. Shall we go back to our outies again?
All right.
The fucker ate my waffle.
All All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Mark, really quickly, where can people find you?
I'll make it easy for
What you
you.
got going on?
Just go to markvibert.com.
It's in the video description.
VIBB, yeah, ERT. That has my link tree, so it's got the Richmond Way, it has Hold a Maneuver, it has Animation Fascination. So all the podcasts are there. So just go to that link and that'll bring you to all of them.
Thanks for joining us. As always, it has been a grand old time. Praise Kier, and you can follow us at GTFO channel on the gram. And yeah, we'll probably have something else.
Stranger Things
soon,
is the
maybe.
next thing I can think of, unless something comes up in between. Which
Yeah,
it might be.
I mean, there'll probably be a movie or something. Oh, Andor. We got to talk about Andor season 2.
Okay.
See that? Like, you're not excited.
At this particular minute, I'm not, but I will be.
Okay. All right. Hope everyone has a good evening, day, night, whatever. Bye.
Praise
Peace
Kier.
out, Cub Scouts. Praise Kier. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Though this experience is in Helly's honor, I urge all the refiners to take advantage of the opportunity presented.
Drop your glasses, shake your asses, face screwed up like you having hot flashes. Which one? Pick one, this one classic. Red from blind, yeah, bitch, I'm drastic. Why this, why that, lip stop asking. Listen to me, baby, relax and start passing. Expressway, head back, weaving through the traffic. This one strong should be labeled as a hazard. Some of y'all niggas hot psych, I'm gassing. Clowns, I spot them and I can't stop laughing. Easy come, easy go, Evie gon' be lasting. Jealousy, let it go, results could be tragic. Some of y'all ain't writing well, too concerned with fashion. None of you ain't Giselle, can't walk and imagine. A lot of y'all Hollywood drama, cast it. Cut bitch, camera off, real shit blasted. I had to